This video will show you how to research who lives in the City of Charlottesville to see if your programming plans will fit their needs. There are three main types of data that are easy to find about your community: demographic data, economic data, and health data. Demographic data tells us the age, gender, and race or ethnicity of our user population. We can look at trends in this data to see if we will have more school-age children in the future, or if our population is aging and might need more programs aimed at seniors. The government collects demographic data regularly through the Census Bureau in its annual American Community Survey. One thing to note is how the Census Bureau defines communities. It collects data about places, which are cities or towns, and also about metropolitan/micropolitan statistical areas, also known as MSAs. These are locations with a population nucleus along with adjacent communities that are economically or socially integrated. Think, for example, about Harrisonburg and Rockingham County. They would be one MSA, but the city of Harrisonburg is a place by itself. There is potentially a big difference between Charlottesville as a place and the Charlottesville MSA. Make sure you know which population you are researching and which population your Parks and Rec department serves. Economic data is collected alongside demographic data in the Census and American Community Survey. I separated it out because it might determine what types of programming your community can afford to take part in, and I thought that was worth spotlighting. Economic data includes household income, employment, home ownership, and educational attainment. Health data is collected by departments of health in each state or county. One nonprofit organization, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, has been measuring the health of nearly every county in all 50 states for a decade. They collect this data to support community leaders working to improve health and increase health equity. You could look at this kind of data to determine obesity rates or asthma rates, and that might help you decide what type of programs to offer, either what's needed or what your community is likely to be able to participate in. So let's look at some resources to help you understand your customers. First one I recommend is Data USA, which makes census data more understandable and visual, and it will tell you a lot about your community in one stop. When dealing with a new client like Charlottesville, it can be useful to run a comparison report in Data USA with the city you do know well, like your hometown. That might help you decide whether similar programs would work in both populations or if they're just too different. Data USA gives you lots of information about economics as well, but I wanted to point out too that you can look for economic development agencies as a source for that information. The Virginia Economic Development Partnership, or VEDP, has community profiles about every part of Virginia that aims to entice businesses to come there. So they talk a lot about what the economy has to offer, what the workforce is like. So that could be another source of information for you to understand Charlottesville as a city. Lastly, we looked at nonprofits and government agencies that monitor health indicators in our community. These are all free resources, so you don't need to worry about accessing them with your JMU EID. You can find them all in the SRM 337 Research Guide. Let's review what we've covered in this video. There's tons of data available about your community thanks to the Census Bureau. That's why it's critical to make decisions using facts and not assumptions. You may think you know the city of Charlottesville, but make sure the data backs up your view. New visualization tools like Data USA make census data easier to understand and use than ever. And nonprofits are monitoring health data nationwide and using it to advocate for better outcomes and equity.